We are going to start in what's called constructive rest pose, which is where the knees are bent. So you might want to have a bolster or your uh, pillow to slide under your knees. So as we start, maybe on the back, knees bent, feet on the floor. Here's how it looks without the bolster, where the bend in the knees creates an equilateral triangle. So the heels aren't way up by the tail. The feet are a little forward. And what that does is it brings your pelvis into what's called neutral. So it's not tipping too far forward, it's not tucked under, and that allows the low back to relax. It also allows the psoas muscles to relax. The psoas muscles are also known as your hip flexors. And they start way up here, the base of your rib cage. They're right along your spine. They go down, down, down the spine, across the hip, and attach to the top of the femur bone. So in this shape, they are the most relaxed. So if you have low back pain, this is a great pose to hang out in for a few minutes to try to help the low back and all those muscles in your deep core to soften. If the eyes aren't already closed, I invite you to close them to invite the awareness inside. Make any little adjustments to your body so that you feel like you can fully surrender into the floor. Letting go of any kind of doing, efforting, any mobilizing. If you aren't already, breathe in and out through the nose. Now, in this shape, if we breathe using the diaphragm, the respiratory diaphragm, which is at the base of the rib cage, attaches to all your ribs down there. We breathe using the diaphragm, we can help the psoas muscles to release even more. So, this next exercise you might remember and return to as a way of releasing deeply held tension. This is tension in the core of the body, literally the center of your body. And also releasing tension from your nervous system. So, this is a way to help your system shift into a rest and digest mode. So, bring your attention to your belly and notice any holding or tension there in the belly. And see if it would feel okay to soften that tension. So that as you breathe, the belly starts to move with breath. And then bring your attention up to your rib cage and to the middle of your back. And notice any tension or holding there. See if it would feel okay to let it melt into the floor. Feel the breath very gently moving the rib cage, maybe even pushing the middle of your back into the floor as you inhale. Then bring your attention up to your chest, your shoulder blades, and notice any tightness or tension or holding there. And see if you can let it soften. So that as you breathe, you feel your chest gently rising and falling. And we'll put this all together. As you breathe in through the nose, expand the belly up through the rib cage into the lower part of the chest. And as you exhale through the nose, soften the chest down through the rib cage, hollow out the belly. Then inhale through the nose, expand the belly, the ribs, the chest. Exhale through the nose, soften the chest down through the ribs, into the belly. And continue. In yoga, we call this Dirga Pranayam, the 3-part breath. In polyvagal theory, we call this the diaphragmatic breath. Continue at a pace that feels comfortable, sustainable. And make your exhale a few beats, maybe 1 or 2 beats longer than your inhale. If you ever feel like you're gasping for the next breath, then just make the length of your inhale and exhale a little shorter. If you don't have a bolster and your legs are starting to get tired, you can walk your feet wide and let your knees fall together to hold each other up. As you continue, see if you can sense that as you inhale, there is a subtle expansion of your energy, your prana. And that as you exhale, that same prana kind of settles like dust or like a feather back onto the floor. Inhale, there's a rising and expanding. Exhale, there's a softening and a settling into the earth. Take a few more breaths to play around with this property of breath. And on your next exhale, let your breath come back to rest. Pause and notice what you feel now.